Hi guys, so in this video I just wanted to talk about the confirmation we had from Blizzard that we won't be having tier sets in the new Battle for Azeroth expansion. Now when I first heard this news I was kind of disappointed, and I was against it, as I thought that it will affect raid attendance and raiding in general, because as someone who raids, obtaining your tier set is something you work towards. For a lot of people, it can be the motivation for attending raids and progressing through the difficult raid boss content, as they know if they kill a certain boss, that they have the chance to be rewarded by obtaining or bonus rolling a piece of tier. But after thinking about it, I started to change my mind a little, and I began to maybe see where Blizzard were coming from. So let me explain from my perspective. You have 14 item slots on your character, to which you can equip loot, not including your weapon slots. Now no matter what level of raiding you do, you can normally obtain at least 2 and then 4 pieces of your tier set quite quickly, by doing a combination of the raid difficulties. This then means you acquire your 2 and 4 piece set bonus, which is normally something you don't want to be without, as these bonuses, for the most part, are very beneficial, so unless you get an upgrade in the same piece of tier, via it warforging or titan forging, or from doing content on a higher difficulty, then that is an item you're probably not going to replace for quite some time. Now take into the account that most of the player base, at least on their mains, have 2 legendaries equipped. This combined with your 4 piece of tier takes up 6 of the 14 slots you have available to equip loot to, which basically means these are now dead slots, as you will never really replace them. For example, how many times have you done a high level Mythic Plus key and open up your chest on reset day to find a nice 935 or higher piece of gear inside, only to discover you cannot equip it as you will either replace your best in slot legendary or lose the benefit of your tier bonus. I know for a fact it has happened to me multiple times. Now I'm sure this is Blizzard's way of thinking, since there are so many ways to now obtain loot in the game, yet there are only a few slots that people can actually equip them to. So removing the tier system as well as the legendary system gives us a lot more freedom and a lot more options in equipping items that can potentially upgrade us without losing something so beneficial like a tier or legendary bonus. Also, do we actually now need the bonus perks from tier anymore? I mean, tier used to change how we would play in terms of possibly changing your rotation or increasing the power and damage from certain talents. However, the way in which the talent tree system now works, and with things like the addition of the Netherlight Crucible, and especially with things like the artifact system, which was implemented in Legion, and will be remaining in some form in the new Battle for Azeroth expansion, in the form of the Heart of Azeroth, which is an artifact quality item, and is basically the new artifact weapon, which seems to function in a similar way to the Netherlight Crucible. We know the artifact system gives us certain traits that add to or alter our abilities, which can be continuously added to throughout the expansion, as has happened in Legion. This therefore is no doubt easier for Blizzard to adjust if they need to, rather than messing around tweaking people's tier set bonuses, whilst at the same time also freeing up more item slots so you can equip more gear to your character. I'm sure it also helps Blizzard developers concentrate on other areas of the game, instead of having to design multiple tier set bonuses for each spec for each new raid. The only real concern I have is what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, i.e., will this affect raid attendance? Why? Well, does this devalue raid loot? A tier set with full bonus would almost always be better than anything else you could get in the game. But if this no longer exists, and all that a raid drops is a higher base level item of loot, then you're going to be looking at what source of content drops the most optimized version of the loot that suits your class better. So for a basic example, a certain boss in the raid drops a 950 cloak with 1000 haste and 1000 mastery. But in a certain high level Mythic Plus dungeon, a 950 cloak drops with 1000 haste and 1000 crit, which stat wise is much better for your class. Now if this is applicable to all pieces of loot, then you're going to pick and choose which content is better suited to giving your spec the best optimized stats. And if that turns out not to be in raids, then some people may not be incentivized to do them. Now this is just my opinion and we will have to see what happens. They may bring back tier in future expansions or even further into the new expansion, and might just be using the Battle for Azeroth expansion to test the waters and see how it goes. I am actually very interested and I am looking forward to seeing how this plays out. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's a positive move from Blizzard, or do you think it will have a negative effect on the game? The truth is, none of us will really know until it is actually played and tested out. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, please comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.